Mi amigos and mi amigas, how are you all doing, man? Welcome into the channel. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I was on another stream, man, and yeah, that's why I was late. I was on another stream, trying to get everywhere. You know what I mean? Spread the love. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Do me a favor, guys. First of all, yeah, I want you to follow a couple of accounts. First one is this account. Yeah, it's LB because we're on the stream. Make sure you're following more LB, the second channel. Make sure you're following It's LB Live on TikTok. I'm going to try it out, man. I'm going to try TikTok out. Can't guarantee it'll end up being mint, but we're going to try it out. And actually, today I put out a video and it did 30,000 views. That was first proper video, so I'm quite happy with that one. The link is in the description. Go follow that. I want to get to 100 followers on TikTok by the end of this stream. I need 28 people. There's 200 people here. No excuses. And, of course, make sure you're following Mancunian Way. The link is in the title. I don't know how much easier I have to make it for you guys to follow Mancunian Way, yeah? Go follow up, and then you can see Sir Alan's rants, yeah, when he's on one. Martin, how are we doing, buddy? All right.
Good evening. You can watch me melt down after 12 hours on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing we need to promote. Martin's doing a charity 12-hour stream, right? 12-hour stream on Saturday, 12 midday, 12 midnight. Is it Alzheimer's?
Yeah, Alzheimer's Society.
Alzheimer's Society charity event. Loads of stuff coming up. I'm sure like you'll whack it out on like Twitter and give us like little snippets about what you're doing. Hopefully, I'm going to get on there as well, do a little show as part of the 12 hours. So, guys, make sure you follow it. You should follow it anyway because it's a sick account and that they do great content. But also, he's doing a charity event this Saturday, which we should all be supporting. And by the way, just send me some stuff and I'll put it on my Twitter and I'll keep spamming it this week so we can get as many people in there. What about Manchester City though, Martin? Because that's the question on everyone's tongue. Is that what you say at the moment? People want to know what's going on about Manchester City. Nottingham Forest have been done 4 points, right? Yeah. 4 points deducted for a breach of FFP. And it was actually more than Everton, I believe. It was 30 million quid, which was more than Everton's. But they got 4 point deduction. They also cooperated, which Everton didn't, which helped them. I think they got 2 points knocked off for that. But yeah, people still don't get it, Martin. That Manchester City's case is fundamentally different to that of Everton and Nottingham Forest, and that we're saying that we're innocent, whilst the other two teams said that they were guilty. Hence why I thought that would be done quicker. Yet people in the media, sport people, I've seen Stuart Broad. Was it Stuart Broad, the cricketer? You know, the England cricket bowler. He was getting involved. Why is Manchester City still not been done yet? It's quite remarkable. I actually find it like quite stunning, really, that people are still asking this question about why is Manchester City's charges still not done. Do you not find it just like bizarre how we're still here?
I'm to a point where I can't believe people are that thick. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt because it's winding me the hell up. How are people not clever enough to work this out? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to even figure this one out. You don't have to be.
I agree.
Nottingham Forest, Everton admitted guilt over one charge. Ours is 115, and we pleaded innocence. That's open and shut case for me. That's right. We'll deal with it as we're going along. I don't know what the confusion is. I mean, let's put it this way. You know, it took them 4 years to charge us. It took them 4 years to get all the evidence together to charge us, trying to get us to negotiate and everything else. So it's taking them 4 years to throw paint at a wall. Well, of course, it's going to take a long time for them to sort out what's going on. I'm astonished by it because, as you know, I said to you last night, and I won't go into the channel and who it is because I'm not one of them people, but talks about on other channels now. They don't even talk about their own club anymore.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And what's annoying about this is like it's so simple to understand. Yet people are either just not accepting to listen, or they're, like you say, they're just stupid. Like, at the end of the day, lads, if I commit a crime and I plead guilty, it's going to be done a lot quicker than someone who's saying they're not guilty. That's effectively, how it works, bruv. Yeah, so I don't know why people, why people don't get it. Listen, there's nothing to worry. If you're an opposition fan and you really want to see City get guilty, right? Because you're absolutely convinced City are guilty, right? Nothing to worry about. If City are guilty, City will get guilty and will be kicked out of the league or whatever. That's what your viewpoint is. Just chill out.
You will get that day. If we're guilty, that day will come and you will get all your little rewards you want.
You will get it. You will get it. So just be patient for another 8 months. They're saying we're going to find out in the end of the year or whatever. So just be patient for another year, and then that's it. Done. You'll find out. And if we're guilty, we're guilty. You know what I mean? You get what you want. But
it's fair. It's fair.
It's fair that because what they can accept. I've said this so many times, right? And I just repeat for people who are not City fans. All the City fans in here know this because I say it all the time. I don't know whether we're guilty or not guilty. I'm not having an opinion on it because I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know whether we're guilty or not guilty. Could we be guilty? Yeah. Could we be innocent? Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to wait till the judgment. I'm going to wait until they decide what we are, and then I'll read it, and then I'll give you my opinion on it. Because when you read stuff, you find out information. Did you see I don't know if you've read it. You probably not, because why would you? But did you at any point look at the Nottingham Forest document?
Little snippets.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that we was in official talks to sign Brennan Johnson?
Yes, yeah. That was the bit I read about. How
it
was the date of that they were trying to move around to put where they could put it on the books.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, so when this document is released about City, we will find out loads of stuff about City. And there's some good, some bad, right? We'll find out stuff, just like the cash document. When you read it, like, you'll see some good, some bad. Yeah. When we read the City document, I'll form my opinion at that point. But yeah, just quickly going back to that, why the hell was we involved in? Why did we get involved in Brennan Johnson? Like, that is weird. I think he's absolutely crap. Personally, mine's personal too. I don't know why he was involved, but yeah, I'll make my decision when I've read the document. So if you're like I say, if you're waiting for that day that we're guilty, if you're convinced we're guilty, chill out. If you're sitting there saying there's absolutely no way City are innocent, why are you panicking then? Why are you getting yourself?
It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot worse because next season you'll see a lot more teams getting done.
Well, they've already said Everton getting done again.
Everton could be done again. Leicester City, when they come up, could be facing Leeds United. Newcastle are on the brink. Villa are on the brink. This is not. Listen, do you know why I'm going to sound so cold here, and I'm sorry. And I don't mean you. We kind of differ and we don't. I think it's the way we're saying it. I think we're doing great, but I don't have loads of sympathy at this stage for a lot of these clubs, because I go back to we tried to help you years ago. We tried. We put out the olive branch and went, right, come on, let's get this sorted out. Don't do this. We're all in this together. We didn't want to be part of the Big Six. We didn't want to be part of all that. But nobody wanted to listen to Icolo Setter. Nobody wanted to listen to us. Everyone is too bothered about trying to kick us out, kick us out of Europe, kick us out of England. They want us to go and play on the moon. I don't know what they're wanting us to do. But what are we supposed to do? And the thing is, I mean, by the way, it's not easy for us fans because the club can't say anything. Me, LB, Steve, everyone else, we're the ones on the front line having to take it and explain it, and we don't know. We're not experts.
Yeah.
So the only people we then listen to is Nobbins, who is a liar, and Stefan, because they're the only two that have got the expert knowledge to guide us. And if you do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
So trust me now, for all these rivals, City fans are as frustrated because we want this over with.
Yeah. Facts.
So I don't know what they want. I was listening to it last, and it's something City of guilt. Do you know the other thing that astonishes me? How people are so willing to put themselves in a very dangerous situation by making wild accusations so much.
Yeah. No, people like to
That
chat shit.
amazes me.
What?
That amazes me how people just make wild accusations, and I don't know
Yeah.
if City won't come after me there, and they probably won't. But I hear people on Talk Sport and other things like that, and I'm like, if you're not careful, City could come after you for defamation of character, and you're out, you're done. And they don't get it. They're thick.
Well. Again, there's a lot of people that talk about this FFP because let's just get it right. Yeah, this FFP thing, it's complicated. It's complicated. There are very few people who actually know what they're talking about, and the people that do know what they're talking about, most of them are not doing YouTube videos or on the radio. Right? There's a very few amount of people that actually know what's going on. Right? And here's the thing. What you got to understand is that in this in this situation, fucking hell, my eyes fucking killing me tonight. What you got to understand in this situation is that it's a complex set of circumstances, and the City charges, they don't actually give us a whole lot of detail. They give us the rule that we breached and the year that we breached it in. That's it. They don't give us like a proper in-depth thing about what's going on. This is why I'm saying I will wait. I will wait until the judgment's out, and I will read the judgment. And then when the judgment's out, I'll read it, and I'll give you my opinion. And I'll give my honest opinion, just like I give you my honest opinion with the Cass. Yeah, because that's what it's about. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of people who think they know what they're talking about, and they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, for example, the perfect example of this is when Everton first got charged, and Jamie Carragher went on Sky Sports and said, there was no sporting advantage for Everton according to the judgment. So why have they got a 6 point or 8 point deduction at the time? Well, that's not what was said in the document. That they did breach. They did get a sporting advantage. Anyone that spends more money than another club's allowed clearly has a sporting advantage because you've spent the money on players. So clearly you get a sporting advantage. Yet people go on talking like they think they know what they're talking about when they really don't. So it's about
Everton admitted they spent 550 million to try and finish sixth, or whatever it was. Problem is, they finished 16th or whatever it was. So straight away, I get it. You tried to spend to get into Europe to gain the money, didn't work. So you gambled. That's what some of this is. It's gambling. The same way Villa had done it. It's why Villa are desperate to hit top four this season. Because they've spent to get to top four. And if they don't, well, they'll pay the price coming back the other way. People forget it is we've not failed FFP because we've always spent on players. That's not what our breaches are not the same as Everton's and Nottingham Forest's. We've not gone out and bought players we never, we couldn't afford. Ours is all on fraud and perjury and lies and deceit, etc.
Yeah, it's about lying about sponsors, isn't it?
Yeah, none of ours is even about buying a player for 25 or 30 million quid. So I don't get how they're comparing it.
Because unfortunately that's what this human race is done. You know what I mean? That's all we've got. You know what I mean? We ain't got anything else at the moment to do. So, people, like I say, people want to see City put it. If City get away with this, I say get away with it. That's not really the right words. But if City get found not guilty, let me tell you something. The internet will break. The internet will break. And because the media, pundits, all the big YouTubers, they've all anyone on the radio, they've all convinced the casual football fan that City are 100% guilty. And I say, City might be guilty. Who knows? I don't know. But if City are not guilty, if City get found not guilty, this is what I'm saying. City are not going to be like, oh, you're not going to get opposition fans going, oh, sorry about that. I've said this before. Opposition fans are not going to go, oh, sorry about that. So I said you were guilty a couple of months ago. I didn't realise you was not guilty. My apologies. I take that back. People are going to say we paid them off or City got away with it because they're a big club now or whatever. So that's the thing. City are not going to come out of this winning. City are going to lose regardless of what happens, right? And that's why I always say what's going to happen about what City going to do. because I ask you this question a lot. I'm not going to ask you it again because I've asked it you so many times. I always ask you, and I ask the chat all the time, and I always ask the chat for the comments on it. But what should City do if they do get not guilty? Because I don't think people are gonna accept it. So I don't know what's going to happen. City obviously is saying they're not guilty.
I've changed on that now.
So what was your initial view?
My initial thing was do it all privately, and they'll do private
and now what
deals.
should you do?
Now I just want to go for the throats of every single one of them.
First,
there's too much now being said. There's too much. There's too much. I mean, people say that they don't care. Well, we don't care. Why are you talking about it?
Yeah, no,
people don't quite understand what they're saying because they go, "Oh, City, you're a little club. Oh, you're a little club that nobody matters about. Equal City." But if we get found guilty, you'll all be out on the streets. You'll all be doing your big streams. You'll all be cheering. Do you want to know why? Because that's the only way you can beat us. You can't beat us on the football pitch. So it's the only way you can beat us now. So I'm sorry, go after every single one of them. Make Simon Jordan bankrupt. Make him bankrupt this time that he doesn't come back. I've had it. I've had an absolute.
Well, I don't know what they should do, but I've said I'm not going to say what they should do. Right? I'm just going to let the club do what they want to do and that. But I'll say this. I'll say this for facts, and I think I'm not going to speak for everyone in the chat, but I'll speak for 90% of people who I think will agree with me on this, and there'll be some that don't agree with me. That's why I said 90%. But I think that 90% of people in the chat, 90% of City fans around the world, I don't think they'll be very happy if City win. I don't think they'll be very happy if City go, "Oh, no problem, it's all done, we'll move on," just like they did with UEFA. I just think this has got too personal. It's got too deep. It's questioned everything about the club. And like I say, people say, I see someone in the chat that said, "Well, what will you do if you get found guilty?" If we get found guilty, it depends on what we get found guilty of. There are a lot of charges. But I'll read it and I'll make that decision. I certainly won't come out and be like, "Oh, like fucking everything's," I'll say what I need to say if we get found guilty, especially because the club have told me and they've told Martin and they've told everybody in this chat, they've told every single City fan that they're not guilty. So the club will get cooked a bit. You don't worry about that. But they're telling me that they're innocent and they're telling me they've got the evidence that they're innocent. So I'm going to, if respectfully, I'm going to go off what they're telling me. And people will say, "Well, of course you're going to believe the club." Yes, that's what football fans do. They trust the club. Now, if the club if the club break that trust by losing this case when they're telling me they're going to win because they've got irrefutable evidence, then yes, clearly I will have trust issues with the football club going forward. But I'm going to trust them at this moment in time. So, like I say, for me, I don't think City is going to be able to release a statement saying, "Oh, it's all done now. We're moving forward with the Premier League. It's all behind us." I just feel that's like I don't know what they can do. Maybe someone in the chat who works in legal will say there's nothing they can do, boys. Maybe that's true. But to release a statement just to say, "Oh, nothing they can do," I just think like there's a lot of City fans who take a lot of shit.
For me, it's probably a bit more personal as well. Like you said, it's become a personal thing. And you're very much you do a lot more than I do, but me and you and others go on all these other shows, independent football shows, and you think you're going on to chat about football and a game and tactics, and you said we don't talk about tactics in the game. It all reverts back to the exact same subject.
Well, it's like no, exactly, and it's like it's not only that. It's the fans that are going to the games, getting the opposition fans singing stuff at them regarding whether or not we cheated. It's the players being judged. It's the managers. It's everything. There's just too much that's gone on for me that if they get found not guilty, for them just to go, "Oh, okay, we're moving on now." I just don't see what world that would be acceptable. Now, again, I don't know what they can do. Don't ask me, chat, because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they can do.
We're not legally trained in that.
You'll have to. Maybe there's nothing they can do, but I'll tell you this: if there's something that they can do, there's something that they should do. Let me just go through some of these super chats, man. Appreciate it, guys. Big up to Dr. 40 says Oil Chester 115 corrupt City. No fans, Bray. hold, says Dr. Footy. Sandkul says, international break is so boring. Love you, Bray. LB and Martin says, Sandkul. Yeah, the international break is dead, man. It's dead. I'm going to have a look after this to see when the good fixtures are on. I'm going to do some watch-alongs. Big up to wHaT says, might as well bait rival fans at the start of the streams to get the streams to 115 likes, says wHaT Professor. It's a good idea, bro. And Mojis with the 4 months says, need to go scored Earth when we bust.
I think he means scorned.
What?
Scorned Earth, basically. We've got to put the wrath of.
Oh,
everyone.
that's what it means. Oh,
we've got to go out and like scorn the Earth's crust.
Oh, yeah. No, fair enough. That's what we need to do.
On everyone.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. It will be. Listen, do you understand where fans like Forest fans and Everton fans are coming from when they get frustrated about City, or do you just think that they're looking at the wrong place? Because I see it, bro. I
do understand, but you know why? Because you've said this many times. It's not explained to them properly. No, sorry. I think theirs is the Manchester City case is never explained properly.
Yes, the Man City case
by
has
the
not
media,
been
by Sky, Talk Sport, or whoever.
Correct.
And the thing is, anyone who's going to other channels for your information, well, you might as well stick your head in a bucket because you're not going to get objective information.
Well, actually, I'll put you up on that, Martin. Where do you get it from? Because you can't get it from YouTube. If we're being honest, right? You guys shouldn't be getting like legit news from like YouTubers, including myself. Yeah, I'm here to I'm a fan. I talk to you guys about football. We interact.
Well, we're called fan channels.
I'm a fan. You shouldn't be getting your. If you're getting your news from me, yeah, then you're probably losing a lot of debates at school, college, at workplace, yeah, because you should.
Everyone's unsubscribing there, LB.
I know everyone's like, well, I thought you was the guy who knew everything. No. You should be getting your news from radio stations like Talk Sport. Even when they get someone like Stefan on, you should be listening. You should be getting your news from them. I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't get the full opportunity to fully explain shit because he just gets interrupted all the time, right? Newspapers, agendas, clickbait. I find it. Where can people go though to get proper information? Because, like you say, this 115 thing
research.
Because even today, Stefan, again, how many times has he been on this radio station? He still had to explain to the listeners and to obviously Simon and what's the Scottish guy called?
Jim White.
Yeah, he still had to explain to them that our case is nothing to do with the Everton and Forest case. He's been on there about 10 times. So, like, you're right. This 115 thing hasn't been explained. And I still don't think people fully understand that Everton and the Forest accepted they were guilty and City don't. So obviously it's going to take longer.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's the simple fact of, even when you listen to Talk Sport, they're after views. You got to remember, Talk Sport, Sky, they all have sponsors. Sponsorship deals equate to your viewership and everything else, and that comes on. And they want debates. Debate spark. You go on any stuff. Debate spark. If someone's having a massive debate and they're going out and they're throwing mud at each other, yeah, it's everyone's tuning in. Popcorn's out. Bottle of beer on the side, whatever it is, and they're there. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But Stefan goes on, Simon Jordan comes out with the same rhetoric. Feel sorry for Stefan because he's never going to be allowed to actually. The closest I've heard Stefan speak was when he went on with Nick Harris on that podcast.
Oh.
And then it ended up in mudslinging the day after all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Because Nick Harris didn't like the way he spoke to him. And I'm like, oh, God, what? And honestly, do you know what's really sad about this? There are friendships breaking over this.
Yeah. Possibly,
Nick Harris and Stefan used to be mates, apparently. And they now all blocked each other off and no one's speaking anymore. And it's like...
It's because, you know, another reason is because this shit is emotional. Like the football's our lives. You know, for a lot of football fans, not everyone, but most football fans, football's our lives. Like, I'll tell you, it's my job. People go to work 5 days a week and go and watch City at the weekend or whatever team it is and travel up and down the country. Foreign fans are waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, you know what I mean, to watch City versus FC Copenhagen. You know what I mean? It's our lives. You know, like Alan on your channel, he gets up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and goes watching it in a pub, you know what I mean, to watch City. Like, football's a lot. So when your club gets attacked, right, you're gonna defend it, and we're gonna defend our football club. But the problem is the media have not done a good enough job at all at explaining the Manchester City case. And again, just simple things like myths. Manchester City didn't have dragged this out, or Manchester City didn't want this public knowledge. Like Stefan said today on TalkSport, the Premier League didn't want it public either. The Premier League wanted it behind closed doors.
No,
But
I actually read somewhere that both signed NDAs and it was all going to be done privately anyway.
they both wanted it done privately. But then obviously Daily Mail got involved and then went to court, and then the judge said, no, this needs to be done publicly. But apparently it's all City's fault. It's like, well, actually, the Premier League wanted it as well.
Why? Because if people had actually gone back and read upon the original UEFA situation, they would understand why people wanted it private. Because if you read the full UEFA situation at the time, UEFA was getting leaked out to people.
Yeah.
And someone went, no, hang on a minute. Well, you got to remember, I mean, it's another thing. A court, it's not a court. We've not broke the law. It is an independent panel commission. I was like, the best way I could put it is, yeah, it's serious, 100%, but it's like being at your, it's the best way I could put it, and I've tried to explain it. It's like being a member at a private golf club and you break a load of their rules. You go in front of their committee and they kick you out. If you're
no, you're right. But if we have lied about some of the,
then it can go.
That's obviously where it gets even more serious.
No, but some people have jumped 3 and 4 steps.
Yeah, of course.
In the future.
You're caught, 100%. And that's one of the annoying things about this whole situation is that they're just jumping forward, you know what I mean, without proper stuff. And listen, I just don't understand, why at this moment in time, like, people just can't wait for the judgment. People just
I know why. I know part of the reason. I won't say it on air because I'm not.
Okay, you can tell.
But I know part of the reason why it is, and that's sad. It's a sad part of society.
Let me bring this up, right? I don't know how many of you guys seen this. I actually was on Tel's channel this morning and I spoke to him about this. I don't know if you've seen this, bro, but this was in the Nottingham, and this is super interesting, guys. Take a look. By the way, guys, make sure you smash the like button, How many likes are we on? We're on 207 likes, 500 people in the building. Come on, man. Let's get those likes up to at least 250. 50 people. Please hit that thumbs up button. Get us to 250 likes. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the Mancunian Way link in the title. Subscribe to Martin. And please follow.
Some people guessed it in the chat, LB. Some people already guessed it, but I wasn't saying on there.
Okay, fair enough. I'll have a look in the chat, see what they say. Please follow the TikTok, guys. Trying to get this to 100 followers by the end of this stream. Yeah, we're currently on how many followers? We're currently on 83. I need 17 more followers, please, out of 500. Get us to 100 followers by the end of the stream.
And if you want to follow our TikTok, Mancunian Way.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I didn't know you had TikTok.
No, we've got one Instagram, and I've only got 500 odd followers. Been going for 3 years. I never used TikTok.
Nah, I just started. I've done like a couple of stuff today, like a couple of stuff in the past, and I don't really get it. And then today I was like, it's international break. I've got nothing to do. I'm just gonna upload one.
It's like Instagram. I don't really go into that. I leave that.
No, I don't really do too much Instagram. I just post pictures of McGuinness. Right, let me show you this. This was, guys, this is insane. Please, please, please take a look at this. So this was inside the, there he is, speak of the devil. This was inside the Nottingham Forest judgment. And I want yourself to ask the question, why was this involved? Why is this involved in the Forest? Where a profit and sustainability breach is minor, then it will be for other commissions to determine if any points deduction is necessary, appropriate or proportionate. But if the breach is properly described as major, then it may be the case that even a very severe sanction, such as expulsion, is more appropriate. Now, the question is here, who are they talking about? Because in my opinion, they're only putting this in there, They're only putting this in there because they want to talk about someone that's coming. I'm going to be slightly maybe naive or whatever, but I don't think they're speaking about City yet. I think they're speaking about Chelsea, because if you listen to that radio interview today, if you listen to that, it sounds to me like Chelsea. I don't know if you listened to it, man. It sounds to me like Chelsea are in the mud, big time. Did you listen to it?
I've never looked into the Chelsea. I'll be honest with you. You know what it is? Because I've only ever listened to Stefan on the Chelsea situation. And Stefan tends to come with when you've listened to him, because they've sold homegrown, that's how they're sort of okay. But I don't know where they're at recently. I don't know how it's working recently.
So here's what happened. Here's what happened, right? So basically, there's quite a few people who there's quite a lot of people who are like proper into the finances and like they can tell you ahead of time who is at risk. That's how people know who is at risk of FFP, because they track it all. Because ultimately, it's just a maths equation. You add up and subtract numbers, and then you get to a number, and you say, are we over the limit or below the limit? And then you can kind of see. And if you're over the limit or near it, you can be like, yo, this club's probably getting close. So what people have been saying about Chelsea, and this is, and stay with me here, guys, because it leads back onto Manchester City in a minute, but just stay with me. What people have been saying about Chelsea is that a lot of people thought Chelsea was going to be breached this year, like Forest and like Everton. However, they've not. So everyone was like, oh, people don't know what they're talking about, because everyone kept on saying that Chelsea were going to be breached, and they didn't. Turns out, that Mason Mount money that everyone thought was going to go into this year, that's coming up now, that we're going to find out when we find out for the next season, that Mason Mount 55-60 million pound, whatever it is, pure profit, was going to go straight to this year, mint for Chelsea. Turns out that wasn't the case. Turns out that money was in last year. They forced it through before the cut-off to help them get through. Also, in that 3-year period, they still had Champions League revenue and Champions League money. Next year, right? So listen to this. This is where it gets crazy. Next year, that Champions League money from the third year falls away. So they lose all the Champions League revenue from the FFP allowances. And Mason Mount, obviously, is no longer in this year. It's still there, obviously, from last year, but they don't get that 60 million again. So basically, what they're suggesting is that Chelsea have to sell. We don't know the exact figure. No one knows the exact figure. But Chelsea has to sell anywhere between 100 and 200 million pounds of players.
That was where Conor Gallagher was coming in, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it gets even worse. It gets even worse. So they have to sell between 100 and 200 million pounds worth of players. Yeah. These have to be pure profit players. So if you sell like players like Kepa or Lukaku, that ain't going to help you, mate, because you're not getting no profit back from that. So it's got to be players with like low book value, like an academy player, right? Or a player that maybe you got on a free transfer, like an Ortega or something. Also, you have to do it by the 30th of June. And apparently the Premier League, in I think it was the Nottingham Forest judgment, said they accept that it's pretty much impossible to sell players before the 30th of June. So effectively...
The window doesn't open till the 1st of July.
Well, effectively what they're saying is Chelsea are going to get done next year. And like it's pretty much guaranteed. Even like the Chelsea Stefans are saying, Chelsea are going to get done next year. It's pretty much impossible not to do it. And here's the thing. So then you come back to this, Martin. Why did they include this in the Nottingham Forest judgment? Is it about City like everyone thought, or is it actually about Chelsea? Proper Chelsea.
See, now you tell me that, it might be.
Because normal people look at this and go, it's about City.
Then why did Chelsea then spend what they spent in the summer then?
Because no one knew about the points at that point, because Everton hadn't been done.
No. I get it, but the thing with the points what confuses me. Because like I said, I watched some Newcastle channels.
Yeah.
And they're now of the opinion, or somehow, if you're only going to get a 4-point deduction or a 6-point deduction, bollocks to it, spend 300 million and take the 6-point deduction.
Okay, that would work if that's how it worked. However, that's not how it works. Because
is that that's what I was coming back to that comment then of, is it a major what? Like basically, if you do that, it's basically that's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. So because there's no set rules, right? Of 1 million over is 1 point, 10 million over is 4 points. Like there's no set rules. And Stefan kind of spoke about this today in the sense that the Premier League clubs didn't want rules. So if you're not happy, if Everton fans are not happy with it, they should blame the club because they voted for not having rules.
Yeah.
So what it means is if you're clearly and obviously recklessly spending and going down that path of, well, we'll just spend all this money and we'll just take the points deduction of 4 or 6, but we think we'll get more points by signing Mbappe, for example, then the commission potentially could look at that and go, you've recklessly done that, and then give you more points, even if you're only 10 or 20 million over, because you've not followed the rules and you've clearly obviously breached the rules. You know what I mean? So that's why. So I guess you could do that. You could take your chances and pretend like you've done it by accident. But obviously, if, these are not dumb people. These are like solicitors.
I was just looking at that then, because yes, but by all intents and purposes, our windows open on the 1st of July in England. The rest of Europe open May, June, I believe. So they open theirs all on the 14th of June. Do you envisage any way of the Premier League clubs all getting back into a little vote and moving the window opening time 2-3 weeks beforehand to go in the rest of the line of Europe?
I'll tell you what's going to happen, yeah. I'll tell you what's going to happen. If the Premier League clubs can vote this through, the FFP that's in place will basically get watered down so much, that it effectively doesn't exist anymore, because clubs are just going to get too stressed with this. Clubs are just going to get too stressed with it, and they're going to be like, you know what, we were better off without this. But it will never go. It's in to stay. So what instead of going, we don't want it anymore, get rid of it. Yeah, what they'll do, they'll just water it down massively. They'll water it down massively.
It must be about. I mean, the Chelsea thing is. I've always found Chelsea a weird one because it's very different to the City model. Very different. What Chelsea went down was the complete youngster road, didn't they? Giving out what they thought they were doing was being clever, finding loopholes in contracts.
Yeah, and they also thought the punishment was but they also thought the punishment at that point was going to be financial.
Yes, it's changed now because they've brought in points deduction, and now they've even changed it since and said, well, it's up to the independent commission now to what we deem as a. Listen, we know City fans, you said it, everyone said it. If we get found proven guilty of these charges, we will be in serious situations. Majorly. We accept that.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
Chelsea don't have a clue because no one's even. Don't know. I just feel like Chelsea is sort of sleepwalking into this.
Well, I don't know.
You never heard it from their fans a lot.
No, but because that's because I think to a large degree, maybe a lot of them just thought they were going to be fine because they've never had to deal with this before, and also. They also got told that this year they were going to be in FFP breach, and they weren't. So I just think everyone sort of like understandably went, nah, these guys don't know what they're chatting about. We're going to be fine. Whereas actually now, if you actually listen to what people are saying, it sounds like they're going to. Well, it's sounding like they're pretty much guaranteed banter rights for next season.
I don't know where you go because the problem, the Premier League can't afford another transfer window like they just had in January.
Yeah, correct, man.
They can't afford that.
Because
that just kills the whole point of the Premier League.
Yeah,
and nobody's doing anything.
It was the worst transfer window I've ever seen in my life. But it gets worse for Chelsea, though, Martin, because look at this breaking news. Look at this breaking news. This come out. I think it was on Nine Men earlier on. Yeah, this literally come out in the last hour. So you remember when? What's it called? The new guy bought Chelsea, yeah? And then they started self-reporting. Well, check this out, yeah? This is breaking news. Chelsea may be forced to lift the lid on Roman Abramovich's alleged questionable transfers next month in ongoing legal case involving former Stamford Bridge director Marina Granovskaya. Now, I'm not 100% sure at the moment exactly how much Chelsea are going to be done for this or whether it's going to be the directors. But essentially, yeah, the Crown Prosecution Service have confirmed to Mail Sport that a Section 8 application under the Criminal Procedure and Investigations Act, which relates to the disclosure of relevant information linked to the defendant's case, has been made by Saif Rubit in his ongoing legal case with former Chelsea director Marina Granovskaya. So, listen, that might not necessarily be about them. Obviously, the more news to come. But because look at this, immediately following completion of the purchase, Chelsea self-reported these to UEFA, these issues that they found. Chelsea has assisted UEFA with its investigation of these matters, and following analysis, the club has entered into a settlement agreement to pay 8.6 million to UEFA as a fixed payment. Wow, I didn't know that. Did you know that? That's gone under the fucking. That's
Yeah,
gone
well,
under
a
the
lot of
carpet a
things
little.
seem to have gone under the carpet, haven't they?
So basically, they done some dodgy dealings, yeah. When Abramovich was there, the new owner self-reported it, and UEFA just said pay us 8.6 million and it goes away. Why is it? I've never heard of this. Why has this not been in the news? Has anyone heard of this? I've never heard this before. Have you ever heard this, mine? That is crazy. As if this hasn't been spoken about
No, because
more.
they're all too busy talking about us.
That is wild.
But they don't care about us.
Wild.
See, the problem is with Chelsea is it could end up like our case. It's going to end up going back absolute years. Because when did Abramovich take over? 2005? Roughly.
Yeah, I think so. 2005.
So
no, it was earlier than that, wasn't it? Was it earlier than that?
Are they going to go back 20 years?
Yeah, it was earlier than that because they won the league in
2004. So are they literally going to go back 20 years?
Don't know.
That's what I mean. I don't know to which.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's a madness. That to be honest with you.
See, that's a mad. This is the problem. Is
why can't we just pay the Premier League off then? If that's the case, like fucking Chelsea have just paid off UEFA.
This is why LB we're back in the club because our chairman has come out and said we have irrefutable evidence that we are innocent.
Yeah, I know, man. This is why it's like
nothing wrong. If we were guilty, our chairman would not be stood out there going, "We are completely."
Well, this is the thing. You would have assumed, Martin, yeah, if we were guilty, that the club would have tried to enter into some sort of settlement agreement, innit?
Yeah, they don't want to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You would have thought they would have tried to enter into a settlement. You wouldn't think. Let me just ask you a question, right? Because people always love to talk about City being guilty. If City are guilty, and all your evidence now is going to a couple of independent people, right, to make the decision. Surely, if you were guilty, you would be like saying to the Premier League, right? You wouldn't accept guilt. You know what I mean? You'd do it without prejudice. But surely you would say, like they did with UEFA in 2014, surely you would say, let's settle. How much money you want?
Well, that's what Nick Harris was talking about with Stefan on that podcast. He said, well, why didn't you settle like you did back in 2012, whenever it was? Well, why didn't you do it then?
Yeah. For the 2014 UEFA case.
Yeah, well, why didn't you do it then? Do you know PSG have settled on more than one occasion going down the road?
Yeah.
That's very United settled in a way with their fine that quietly got put under the carpet. Liverpool settled when they hacked our academy system.
Yeah.
That got swept on. Everything else, it's because we've come out and gone. We're innocent. We're fighting this to the death.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, so for me, I'm like, because you know what, guys, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you what I feel like. There are days when I sit here and I'm like, yo, we're guilty, innit?
I don't think we are guilty.
No. I'm not saying I think that all the time. I'm just saying, like, I have days where I'm sitting here going, we're guilty, man. You know what I mean? Like 115, we're guilty. But then I always come back to it. When I think that, and I think those negative thoughts, yeah, I always come back to saying, well, the guy has told me that he has irrefutable evidence, and he's saying he's innocent. And ultimately, if he was guilty, why would he want this aired out? Why would he want the dirty laundry aired out in public? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when because obviously before we was charged with the 115, there was obviously negotiations and discussions going on place for 4 years. If you're guilty, surely at that point you're speaking to your lawyer. Surely they're saying you got two options, mate. So let's just say we're guilty. You got two options. One, you try and settle the case, and mitigate any problems. Or two, you just go court and defend yourself, but you're guilty. Like you're playing a game then, isn't it? Like who knows what'll happen? Like, so then I think to myself, no, we're not guilty, man. Because like if we were guilty, why did not settle in? Why did not? Would you just settle? Even if the Premier League went, oh, well, it's pretty serious, lads. So, if you settle in, then you're still going to get a 20-point, 30-point deduction. For one season, it's well worth it for 1 year, the risk being kicked out the division.
It's very,
Surely they would have settled.
Well, not only that, LB, your lawyers would tell you as a business, because your business is going under, and you're quite, you think you're going to go under, you would sort of look after your assets a bit, wouldn't you? You wouldn't spend a lot of money. You wouldn't. Now, since all this has been going on, we've taken on, I think, nearly 10 new sponsors.
Yeah, we're doing the stadium.
Including Kellogg's, including Joey, including, is it Joey? I don't know how you pronounce it.
I think it's like Joe. No, I think it might be actually. I don't know. But
I don't know. It's an American baby product company, isn't it? We're trying to buy more clubs for the CFJ.
Yeah.
Does that sound like to you a club that sounds like they're scared of going down to League One?
That's all the sponsors, man.
Yeah. No, hang on. Apparently they're all from Abu Dhabi now.
Oh yeah.
Come on, LB. I didn't realise Nissan was in Abu Dhabi the last time I checked.
Sony. Yeah.
Sure.
EA
Next
Sports.
entire.
EA Sports.
Gatorade.
EA FIFA or whatever it's called now. EAFC is now part of the fraud. Sure. Or whenever you're spraying your deodorant, Martin, in the morning, your little 115 deodorant.
Yeah, this is the thing. Do you know when Thingy does it? Hassan does this. He goes, he only shows, he gets the City website up and he tells you 4 sponsors that are all from the Abu Dhabi. But he forgets to name the other 20 sponsors. Like, Nissan is not a little company. Sony is not a little company, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking little side things here.
Yeah.
We've got a stadium sponsor for our women's stadium and our academy stadium.
Yeah.
Only team in England to have that.
Yeah. No, I know.
And how many players have we bought?
115.
You think an agent like Echeverry's agent or Savio's agent or someone at Kellogg, someone anywhere would just have a little bit of word, By the way, lads, these charges you've got. You might be in Division 1, so I'm not sure my lad might come to you. Never mind come to you in 18 months when the loan's finished.
And then United get Omar Barada.
Yeah, I forgot all about that one. Omar Barada, who has got his signature over every single frigging document, because that was the other thing I saw, LB. Omar Barada became the carpet cleaner when he left City.
Yeah,
he had no involvement in anything. He suddenly became
what was hilarious, right? All these United fans coming out saying he had nothing to do with the sponsors. Yeah. Someone went on his LinkedIn. Yeah, someone went on the guy's LinkedIn, and his LinkedIn profile literally says he handles corporate sponsors for Man City, which was quite funny. But yeah, that's another thing. You know what I mean? Like about all these people leaving, and like you're telling me United are gonna get Omar Barada if they think we're guilty. Because Omar Barada surely will be part of it. So I don't really see that. Let me just go through these super chats, man. Big up to Alan earlier on, says hello guts.
I don't know what it means by guts.
I don't know what that means either, to be honest with you. I thought it was like an in joke. No. LB says Rodri is scared of playing against Conor Gallagher. Says LB with the 2. Yeah, unlikely, but let's see what happens. Alan again says it's not independent in caps. He says the commission is appointed by the Premier League. Yeah, but
I'm not explaining it to him for the 5,000
time. Okay, I won't go for it either.
Alan seemed to think QCs and all these are like some Arsenal season ticket holders that are just being popped out the Emirates to come and sit on a panel.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down the conspiracy theory of these guys are.
He calls it a kangaroo court, so it's not even a court.
Kangaroo court. LV says biggest solar panel roof in the world incoming. Well, again, this kind of highlights what Martin was saying a few moments ago. Like, as a City fan, you're looking for confidence. as to why would be not guilty, right? So first of all, the club coming out and Khaldoon coming out saying we are innocent. We have irrefutable evidence. That's obviously that gives us confidence. The club deciding not to settle the case when they could have settled the case. That gives me confidence. The club deciding to improve the stadium facilities, improve the capacity, investing in the area, in putting money into the Co-op Live stadium next door, building this solar panel thing, like putting all this stuff in, and then on top of that, still buying players like wHaT at £77 million. That all gives me confidence to say the club isn't really acting. The club isn't really acting like a club that feels that they're going to get
to go and play error.
Yeah, they don't really look like that, do they? Like if we spent like 20 million in the summer or sold a couple of players and stuff got cancelled, we've decided to cancel the ongoing stadium expansion because we don't think it's worth it at the moment.
Yeah.
Then you
Take
might
the cranes back, lads. Put the cranes away. Put them away.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And then a couple of directors resign, and then all of a sudden you're going, hang on a minute, what's going on here? What's going on here? It's the opposite. They're putting money into players. They're putting money into the area. They're investing. They're still buying clubs. The guy's been bullish. Our local rivals have just took our board member who's got his name all over this. So it's kind of like, I'm looking for positivity. I'm looking for stuff to give me confidence. And I can't really lie. I'm getting a lot of confidence. Now, I'll tell you what would be nice. Yeah, a little cheeky email from Khaldoon. A little cheeky email from Khaldoon saying, don't worry, boys, we're going to be fine. But I just go back to what he said in the interviews, yeah? This guy has told us, he's our chairman. He's told us that we're going to be fine. He's told us that as a chairman. He's told us as fans that. So I'm telling him, yeah, if you're watching this, you better not have lied to us, mate. Because, as a fan base, yeah, we've all defended the club, yeah. City fans who go to the games defend the club week in, week out, home and away. Yeah, people who ring it into TalkSport, people who are ringing it to BBC Manchester, people who come on the radio, on YouTube, people who go on Twitter, anything, you name it. Yeah, we're all defending you, mate. So I'm just saying, you best be telling the truth because otherwise the trust is probably going to be gone between us if you lied. And again, we have to read the full document when it's out. Well, why? So again, stop on that hate. Why would he lie? Well, again, this is the question. If he's guilty, if we're guilty, why wouldn't you have just settled the case? You would have settled the case. So again, going back to that, what I was just saying about confidence, why would he lie?
Yeah, for me, this isn't about settling. You know what this is? And if you listen to that full Khaldoon interview, what does he say at the end? This is irrefutable evidence where we will clear our name once and for all.
Well,
this is what's scaring rivals, LB.
Yeah.
If we get found not guilty, or whatever people want to say, they can't come back anymore because they've gone back as far. The next thing is going all the way back to Bowley and Summerby area to try and find something wrong. They were going after Peter Swales next. I don't know where they want to go. There's nowhere they can go now.
Yeah.
Because Manchester City is a profitable football club. It's like the other rubbish you hear about Manchester City's claiming to be the biggest club in the world. No, we never claimed that. We made the biggest profit in a 12-month period because we won the treble. Shock horror to everyone. Shock horror. But apparently now we're claiming to be bigger than Real Madrid. No, we never claimed that. Again, people twisting the truth. People talk about third-party sponsorships. Proved at CAS there was no third-party ownership, related ownership. Proved at CAS, page 78 of CAS. I don't know what, because they don't want to read.
Listen, I know, but this is the thing, Martin. Like, people don't want to.
Everton and Forest said they were innocent. No, they didn't. They admitted guilt.
Yeah, they admitted guilt, man.
They admitted guilt. They never said they were innocent. They admitted guilt.
Yeah. Can I? Is there any? Listen, we can obviously come back onto the city topic in a few moments, if you want. But I just wanted to go back to the fundamentals about FFP and sort of apply this to Forest, because here's my problem with the Forest thing, and I'm interested to know what the chat thinks about this, because I was speaking again on stream today, and a couple of people agreed with me, a couple of people disagreed with me, and I've not discussed this with Martin, by the way, on text or anything, so I genuinely don't know what he's about to say. But here's a problem with what I have with the Forest thing, right? And I did a video on this yesterday, about this Forest 4-point. Forest got promoted, right? And a lot of the players left. They had a few players on loan. I think they had a few players out of contract, and they had not a lot of players on the books. So they had to buy quite a lot of players. Yeah, they had to, because they didn't have a lot of players. They spent the money, and they survived by 4 points. Yeah, they survived last year by 4 points. They've breached FFP, right? And they've been deducted 4 points. So effectively, I'm reading this, opening it, I'm reading it. And what I'm thinking to myself is, I'm saying, hang on a minute. This club's put this money into players, right? And survived. They've done the job. That's the aim of the game. Don't get relegated when you're a newly promoted club. They survived. They did it. That was a success. What you've done is you've actually now saying that you're actually now saying that they've spent too much money, and we think that you're going to get 4 point deducted off it. So I'm just looking at it saying, hang on a minute, if they only survived by 4 points last year, you're saying they spent too much money, and now you're deducting 4 points. Is what you're telling me really that they should have been relegated last year? In which case, what hope, and this is actually what Nottingham Forest said in the argument, in the judgment, what hope is there for promoted clubs? Because if they only just, because what they'll say is, well, they should have spent the money more wisely. BS, I say to that. I say BS to that. Because at the end of the day, whenever you sign a player, it's a gamble. People can sit there and say, oh, well, they shouldn't have spent the money on Jesse Lingard. Probably not. But if that's what they felt was the correct thing to do to keep them up, who is anybody? Who am I? Who are you? Who is anyone in this chat? Who is Simon Jordan? Who is anybody in this world to tell them that's not what they should have done? If that's what they felt was the correct thing to do, if the manager felt that was what the correct thing to do, if the owner felt that was the correct thing, who is anyone to sit there and go, no, you shouldn't have signed Jesse Lingard, or you shouldn't have signed Morgan Gibbs-White? They signed the players, yeah, and they survived. That's a job well done. And people will say, well, Leicester won't be laughing because they got relegated. Fucking they breached the rules apparently as well. So that talking to me about Leicester.
Leicester are breached and they're not even here yet.
Leicester got bloody breached. So it's like, I just feel that, like, where are we going from here, man? I feel like we need a pause on this FFP shit. And before anyone says who's not a City fan, you're already saying that because of 115. No. Keep the 115 going, man. I'm not talking about that. Keep the charges going. Keep investigating it, and we'll hear the judgment. I'm talking about, I think we need a fundamental reset. We need to look at these FFP and profit and sustainability rules, and we need to decide as a group of fans, fans of this sport, and the clubs need to decide, what do we actually want to do here? Do we want to protect clubs going bust, or do we want to stop? Or do we want to stop clubs competing at the top level? And then once we've decided that, then we can try and get some rules in place.
No, I do get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think there's fundamental differences here. I do think FFP needs to be rejigged. I understand what you're saying. Forest should come up, let them do what they want. The trouble is with Forest, they've been a bit iffy on their owner, haven't they? They've been a bit in and out with their owner, so whether he was selling, going, whatever. The other point is with them is they both, when they came up, and let's be honest now, we all said this at the time. They signed 43 players.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm not.
Players.
Just quick. I'll let you carry on, but just quickly, I'm not saying like they weren't like silly. They clearly were silly in the amount of players that they signed. But
I
like
would
when
say
people,
it was reckless, not silly.
well, yeah, maybe. But at the end of the day, like they made the signings and they survived. Do you know what I'm saying? Like so, and they only survived by 4. So they signed all those players.
But they kept going.
But my argument was, if they didn't keep spending, they would have got relegated again. And that's good. That comes to question: where's the hope? If they only just survived by signing all those players that you just mentioned.
See, I've had this debate with Alan. I don't think. What do you mean by hope? Hope in what way?
Okay, so Nottingham Forest came up, yeah. They signed all these players. They spent 131 million, and they only just survived.
Yeah.
You look at the likes of Sheffield United, yeah, got promoted,
Yeah.
and they're absolutely shite. If you're a promoted club now, yeah, unless like you're like a Leicester or Leeds who maybe have Premier League players already and you got relegated, then you're going to get promoted again. If you're, say, like just a random Championship club that's been in the Championship for a few years and now you're getting promoted to the Prem, what hope do you have, really, of being able to compete? Because the Premier League, like, bro, if you look at some of the teams near the relegation zone, they're good. They're good teams. These are not ass teams. Like if I look at the relegation zone now, yeah. Everton are a good team. Brentford last year were in the top 10. Palace on the day are a good team. These are good teams. All these championship sides, yeah. If I go to the championship and have a look at a random team, if these teams get promoted, I'm not being funny. The players are not good enough. They're going to have to invest a lot of money, and then they're going to breach and get pointed up to.
Making it again back to this compete, and I've had this debate. What do people mean by compete?
Having a chance to survive in the Premier League without getting relegated.
Luton Town spent 25 million quid in their full bottom.
So how much did they spend?
25 million, that was it.
And the only reason they're out of the relegation zone is because Forest got a points deduction.
But right, I agree with you. But all right, then Newcastle last season finished 4th, Liverpool finished 5th.
Right. But Newcastle
is that not keeping the dream alive? Leicester City winning the Premier League, not keeping the dream alive?
Yeah,
I know it's only one-offs.
I remember when Newcastle the year before were 11th in the Prem.
No, I know I get what you're saying, but this is my argument back. My argument here is, what is the dream? What is the dream alive part?
Because I tell you what, it's very simplistic.
LB, there's never been a dream for smaller clubs.
No. The dream, if you're promoted, I tell you what the dream is, yeah? If you're a team that gets promoted for the Championship, the dream is that you're going to go into the Premier League and you're not going to be delusional. You know it's going to be tough, but you want to go in there thinking that we're not just going to get smacked up week in, week out, and that we've got a genuine chance of survival. And I just think this now on Forest, yeah, is just making. I think this will just make people just like, we ain't going to be able to compete, because I don't think the players in the Championship are going to be good enough to compete with what's at the bottom of that Premier League. Because what's at the bottom of that Premier League, just outside the relegation zone, are good football teams. Everton, Brentford, Palace are all good teams. They're all
spent a lot of money.
No, they're paying the price for it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You're saying compete. The 15th at the moment.
But they've got good players.
Not spent a lot.
But they've got good players.
And hold Albion. Basically use the money ball. And they're
but these have got good players. Fulham have João Palhinha in the midfield.
They've gone out and they've scouted the networks.
Yeah, but they've done that.
They went out and spend 100 million. They went out and spent 1.5 million on players and turned it over.
I understand to a degree Brighton, because they're a little bit of an anomaly, right? But everyone else has good players. Brentford have got a £100 million striker, apparently. Fulham have got João Palhinha in the middle. He might be going Bayern Munich in the summer. None of these players none of these teams in the Championship have a £100 million player on the books. And even if you go to the likes of Everton have got good players. Got England's number 1. They've got Branthwaite at the back. They've got DCL on his day, could be a problem. Decore in the middle. They've got Onana. They've got good players. The problem that I'm trying to say in simplistic terms is, I feel that we're going to get to the point where, if you're a Championship club, just FYI, barring the likes of Leeds and Leicester, who probably still already have Premier League quality players because they got relegated. I'm just talking like genuine, so if I just like Ipswich Town, for example, someone like that, I just feel like we're going to get to the point where if someone like an Ipswich Town got promoted, they're not going to have the funds available because they're not going to be allowed to spend it to spend money on, and they're just going to go straight back down. And if that happens year after year after year because teams are not allowed to spend, then I just feel like we're going to be in a situation where people are just going to be like, well, what's the point? Do you get me?
Yeah. I mean,
that only applies, by the way, if teams want to spend money. If a team gets promoted and they're just like, we're not spending money because we don't want to.
I understand what people are saying. I get it. The argument I come back to is it's that word compete. It's so broad. Because are you competing to finish in the top 6, competing for top 10? Because you hear this, keep the dream alive. There's never been a dream alive for the smaller clubs. Since 1980, there wasn't a dream.
But I'm not talking about dream in terms of winning the league. I'm talking about dream and just staying in the Prem.
Well, I can name you loads of clubs who come up and stayed in the Prem and not spent a lot of money.
No, you can do in the past, but I'm saying now that this... No, you're missing the point. I'm saying now that the points deductions are starting to take place. I agree in previous years, but now the points deductions are taking place. Are we just going to see a position now where these championship clubs are not going to be able to spend the money?
That's what's wrong. They need to sort out this points deduction. What they need to do, instead of saying to a committee, it's at your discretion, the Premier League needs to sit down and put actual rules into place on this.
Yeah.
They need to stop this. They need to stop this. Or we'll look at it on an independent basis, because every club's going to be scared of going anywhere because they don't know where the line is. Like you've got, like I said to you earlier, you've got some fans going, screw it, we'll spend 300 million and just take the 4-point deduction. But you don't know if it's 4 points because it's going to be an independent case at the time.
Yeah. And if they think you've done that recklessly, then obviously...
there's got to be a line somewhere of that much get that much fine, that much this, that much that. Like you just said earlier with Chelsea, they thought it was a fine. So that I agree with. Where I'm struggling is I've heard some say to me, the dream of competing in the Premier League, there's never been a dream of that. That was always the best and the richest got it.
Yeah. Just to clarify, when I'm saying about the dream, when I'm talking about the dream for promoted clubs, I ain't talking about going and winning the Prem. I'm just saying the dream is staying.
You're just finishing 4th bottom. Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so just to sort of finish off on this topic, I'm just going to say, I take Ipswich Town, Ipswich Town are currently 3rd in the Championship. I would hazard a guess, if you compared their starting 11 to Brentford's starting 11, no more than 2 Ipswich Town players get in that Brentford team. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. I feel that the gap between the Premier League clubs that are in the Prem every year, pretty much, and the Championship is getting wider and wider in terms of quality. And therefore, the only way for Championship clubs, when they get promoted, to stay in the division is to spend heavily to improve their starting 11. But they can't do that because then they'll get a points deduction. That's where I feel that if that happens year after year, and this is why people are missing the point. People are like, that's happened in the past. No. It's not happened in the past with points deductions. If this happens now for the next couple of years going forward with points deductions, will teams, when they get promoted...
but going forward, I totally agree. That's
my concern.
They need to put a level of line into where we're going here on it. So, like, for a start, they need to... It isn't even going to work with this 85%. Because, as I said, an 85% revenue of Manchester City is a very different of an 85% revenue of Luton. So you've still got the gap. Still doesn't work. But what they're basically saying is Luton know how much they've now got to spend. So what this 85% is actually doing is putting you that line in.
So you like this new rule?
No, I don't like it, but it's a bit more clearer in terms of each club will know exactly what they can spend now.
Yeah. But
what isn't clear is what is the punishment for going over and by how much?
I don't think we're ever going to get that clarity because it's done on an individual case.
That's where the independent regulator's got to come in. There's got to be an independent regulator.
Yeah,
which the UK government are desperate for.
Yeah, and it's also done on a case by case basis because, for example, if I'm club A and you're club B and we both breach by 10 mil, but I did it by a genuine accident. Yeah, I did it by genuine accident. I didn't realize something. It's like there was a mitigating circumstance, like something went wrong. I was just like, rah, 10 million over. This was not in our plans. I cooperate and everything. Boom. Right. But you're arrogant. You're like, fuck this. I'm doing this 10 extra mil.
Screw
Yeah.
it, I'm spending
I'm
300 million.
yeah, I'm doing this 10 mil. So you're 10 mil over, but you knew full well you was going 10 mil over. You did it on purpose. You didn't cooperate with the investigation. Then should we both get the same points? And it obviously probably not. But then how can they put that in a guideline? Because every case is different. And that's why it's done on a case-by-case basis.
They kind of have, because the Everton and Forest is kind of level pegging now. It was one shot, roughly about the same amount of loss, give or take 5 million or so. And they both got, what was it, 4 points. So what's happening is now, LB, is everyone's immediately gone to, well, what one strike equals 4 points. So everyone's now immediately gone to, well, Manchester City 115 times that by 4. Because if 10 of them are even true, that's minus 40 points to start on. But we'll know, again, it's not going to work like that. Because our 10 cases, and we're charged on 10, are going to be very different to yours. Plus, by the way, here's one for you. Say none of ours, say the first 4 are all cleared.
Yeah.
And you get to 0.5, where it's all non-compliance.
Cooperation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that worth points deduction? Or is that worth just a fine because you've not complied?
I would say that's
you've
a
not
fine.
You've not broke FFP now.
Yeah. I'd say that's a fine.
Do you understand? But you're going to get people then will say, well, Everton and Forest got that. And then you're back in the same argument again. There's got to be rules put into place to what, like when you go to school, you know, if you do something wrong, what punishment you're getting. And it goes up because you all sign a behaviour policy. We may have to treat Premier League clubs like children and make them all sign a policy that is, these are your rules. That is what happens if you do that. That's what happens if you do B. And maybe you've got to treat them like children.
Well, I think that's the way we're going down with the independent regulator. That seems to be how that seems to be the road we're going down when that comes in. So yeah, no, it's certainly interesting. Let me read the super chat out by Keon. Says, if you listen to how Khaldoon talks, I don't think he would put the Sheikh at risk of such public embarrassment. If there wasn't a case, they wouldn't fight. Fair point.
Yes, because one thing that Middle Eastern people are very big on is their own reputation and humiliation.
I would just say, like, if City are guilty, right, and they know they're guilty, and they're looking at the situation and they go, you know what, the Premier League have got a bang to rights here. Surely, you try and settle the case.
Yeah, they wouldn't try and settle the case, and they wouldn't be so bullish and ballsy in some of the statements that they've done.
Exactly, you certainly wouldn't be like that, would you? Surely.
If you were 100% bang to rights, you'd be a bit sheepish and you'd be a bit. And you'd be a bit, because let's be honest, let's look at all the other teams that have been found guilty. Have any of them spent a lot of money? Have any of them really talked about spending in the summer? Have any of them talked about getting new sponsors? Everton are having roadblocks every time they talk about the stadium. Us, we're based, like I said earlier, we are full steam ahead. Let's go, and we're going to blow the world apart again.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We're completely different. We are like going balls deep on everything at the moment. Tours, players, new clubs, new sponsorships, new kits, fourth kits. We're basically going for it.
No. Again, I've said it so many times.
Sound like a club that thinks they're going to be playing against Colchester United in 18 months.
No. Again, and just to summarize that, guys, if the club was guilty, right, and the club knew they were banged to rights, surely they would have entered into some sort of a settlement agreement with the Premier League, and even if it like a 20-point deduction, surely they do it. They don't have this aired over the club for so many years. They don't come out like Martin was saying and tell all the fans that they've got irrefutable evidence and that we'll be happy to clear out. They don't say it in those sort of terms. So, and people will say, well, that's what they would say. You know what I mean? No, they wouldn't, because they need to keep the fans on side. And if you know, they wouldn't be so bullish in the way they're speaking. So I agree with Keon 100%. Big Alan's back says the Premier League club should have a vote of no confidence in the board. We need 11 votes to sack the Premier League board. Well, I think that Richard Masters, I think his job's done anyway. Because I think a lot of clubs, but if you read the news and like the rumours coming out, apparently a lot of clubs don't like the guy.
No,
he's a weirdo.
Alan thinks Premier League. Alan wants to go to the Super League. That's what it is.
Oh, Alan's a Super League fan. Well, that's also not happening today with that
Alan wants to go to the Super League, and he's desperate for the old.
That ship has sailed, man. With the today's announcement.
Can you explain to him on that, Al? I'm going to sit back while you explain this to one or two.
Basically, the government with this new regulation have basically said that it's just legally not allowed. Like, it's illegal now to join the Super League, so they physically can't.
Like I told you, Alan, a long time ago that UK government were doing that.
But I'll tell you what will happen. The Champions League, the Conference League, and the Europa League will just become the Super League.
Yeah, yeah. What that's about? Yeah, 1,000.
That they'll just slowly, like, we've already got the Conference League, so we've already got the 3 leagues.
We've already got two extra games next year.
Yeah, we've got the 2 extra games.
And 4.
Yeah, of course. We're going to get the Super League. It's just going to be slowly introduced over maybe the next decade, with slight changes here and there. We've already got the extra coefficient spot for England or Germany or whoever it is to get the extra big club in. Well, not England, but we've got the coefficient. Like, one of the big clubs who's going to get in who doesn't qualify to help get the big clubs into the tournament when they don't actually qualify. So we were, yeah. Well, exactly. We are getting, because the Champions League will want United in, because United are a big club. Like, that's how it works. So we're getting Super League. It's just not going to be called the Super League. It's going to be called the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League.
No, the beauty is that we don't have to leave the Premier League to play.
And we also have to leave it. And people won't be protesting in the streets because it'll just be put in slowly but surely. And then I guarantee you, and then in 2034, the competition will be nothing like it is today. Nothing like it is today, the Champions League. It'll be the Super League, but it'll be done slowly but surely. That's just a fact. A big up to
Kimmich watching this, so he's definitely not coming in the summer, is it?
I know. Big up to Massam says, what's your opinion on parachute payments? Well, I think clubs need parachute payments, right? Because when they get promoted, they invest a lot into the staff. They'll increase the staff load. And if they don't do parachute payments and that income dries up, there'll just be a lot of normal people who get made redundant. So I think parachute payments helps clubs keep those people on board.
I would say they have to be longer. But see, this can go down the pyramid as we're going here, because say Luton get relegated, for example, or Everton. Let's use Everton example. Everton get relegated. They get 3 years, 4 years parachute payments. They've got a 60,000 seater stadium at the Docks. What about poor old? Give me a club down near the bottom, LB in Championship.
You what?
You give me a club down near the bottom of the Championship who's not been relegated. So don't say Rotherham.
Huddersfield?
They're going down though, aren't they? So someone about 15th.
Blackburn.
Will Blackburn not have a case then on Luton Town that they've got a shitload of parachute money coming back down? That they've got. This is what see. I said this. I'm going to let you in. I had a chat with a Newcastle fan on my preview last week, and I said to him, "I said, can I ask you an honest question?" I said, "Would you be going mad if you were where City were right now on FFP?" And he went, "No." I went, "Why?" He went, "Because we're in the pack."
Yeah. We've made it.
And this is the weird thing of, I feel like it's only City fans who are saying, yeah, let's get this FFP for everyone. But even Newcastle fans are a bit like, some of them, not all of them, a bit like, it's because we're not in it. Is that we're a bit against it. If we were in it, wouldn't give a toss about Wolves down, Wolves down in the Midlands.
Mm.
And it is a little bit weird on I'm all right, Jack. It does seem like Manchester City is the only fan base that I know that are like, no, it should be fair for everyone. But the trouble is, that fairness is only going to go so far. This is what I mean. It's like I don't know. It's a weird one because like, I have sympathy for all clubs, and I do think it should be a bit more competitive. But otherwise, and it's like you said earlier on, even to survive should be the drive for some of these clubs. Ipswich should be able to come up, spend money to survive. I totally agree with that. And they shouldn't be punished for it. The trouble is, Ipswich then sit there and they go, all right, we want to kick on now. We want the dream of Europa League, the dream of Europa Conference. The trouble is, they're never going to get that unless they have a very good management, or they go and do a Brighton model and go and scout abroad and hope some of them come off.
Yeah, but you say that, but you could easily see a team getting in the top 10 of the Premier League after a couple of seasons if they recruit correctly.
Yeah, no, you could, but my point is, there's a difference between ambition and expectation.
No, and of course, you can't be reckless with it. But if a team wants to take that next step and invest into the team to try and get them into the top 10, surely they should be able to do that.
If Aston Villa don't make the top 4 this year,
yeah,
with everything they've spent, and they finish Europa, they could be in trouble, couldn't they? Because they're already on borderline of it.
Well, apparently, they might.
Is that reckless or is that gambling?
It's neither. I don't think it's neither. I just think it's investment. Sometimes you invest and it doesn't come off. Sometimes you can do all the research. Yeah, like this is the cryptocurrency for me. You buy the crypto and then boom, it tanks. Bro, sometimes it just happens, man. At the end of the day, if you're investing in something, there is no guarantee that you are going to succeed in whatever you're buying. And if the investment is in players to improve performance, guess what? Sometimes it don't work. You might get
unlucky. In any line of business, if you spend more money than the business is bringing in, guess what happens? Eventually, if you keep doing that without producing things, your business goes bust.
Yeah. No, but obviously, if you're getting it wrong every year and year, yeah, LP lost money. I've never invested in crypto, by the way.
I don't know why we got into crypto. I think LP's giving you a peek behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, I've actually. But here's the thing. But what you just mentioned there, that's where I change. Because if you're getting it wrong year on year, what did I say a minute ago? If you've done your research and your investment thesis is sound in the player, in the manager, if you're getting it wrong every year, then that tells me that you're not doing your proper research.
So would you say Everton did it wrong?
Yes, Everton did it wrong, 100%.
Is that because of that you think? And I'm only asking, I said, because they tried year after year after year and just kept going.
They didn't buy the right players. And I said that at the time. And I'm pretty sure the fact that they never bought a proper striker to put goals in the back of the net for the last 4 years is ridiculous. And when they did, they bought Neil Maupay. That's a fundamental failure of the scouting system, in my opinion, at Everton Football Club. The fact that they never bought a striker in that time, and that now they've just bought
50 million on Iwobi.
Yeah, again, listen, Iwobi on his day can be decent. That was probably a poor signing. Sigurdsson was probably, on hindsight, a poor signing.
Do you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe I've just got hard and I'm a bit more stone with it. But it's just. Listen, I love the idea of the dream and a little company building up, but at the end of the day, LB, a little side shop's never going to be bigger than Tesco or Asda. That's just a fact of life.
Bro, they bought Ben Godfrey for 30 mil. Who is he?
I mean, I forgot all about that one. Jesus.
Do you know what I mean? You just go through
that is reckless now, isn't it?
Moise Keane, 27 million.
don't they always say in the business? Because I'm not. I only did business at A level. I didn't go into it as a thing or anything like that. But don't they always say like there's a saying of after 3 years, you know whether your business is successful or not? Don't they? Because don't they say for the first 2 or 3 years you're going to lose money and then you start making money?
Well, yeah, but and if you put that onto players, but players are instant impact. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being funny. If you look at this is going back a bit, yeah. They spent this is Everton signings. They spent 30 million on Iwobi, 30 million on Moise Keane, 25 million on Jean-Philippe Gababin. Never heard of the kid. 25 on Andre Gomez. It's just like they spent money just shockingly bad.
So they went recklessly.
Yeah, that was a few years ago now, but like they've not spent the money correctly. You know what I mean? And obviously, Forest, yes, the argument that you could have is that Forest didn't spend their money wisely last year, but ultimately they still survived, and that was their aim.
They gambled. Listen, Forest and Everton gambled. I have no problem with the gambling. I have no problem with Everton and Forest having a go. That's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with the club having a go. What my problem is, LB, is when I hear some of the people going, but Everton and Forest didn't do that wrong.
Yeah.
And they're blaming the Premier League for it. Well, where you can blame the Premier League is there is no bloody rules anywhere. Nobody knows whether spending 100 million over is the same as spending 10 million over.
But that's what the Premier
Which
League
one's
wanted.
3 points? Which one's 6 points? No one knows.
But the clubs wanted that.
Oh no! So that's why I did a show. Turkeys wanting for Christmas.
Yeah. So is it the Premier League's fault then? If the club said they didn't want this rules?
No, because again, LB, they wanted this to stop us. This was all against us.
Yeah. Yeah, but now they can't complain about it.
This is where my sympathy dies a bit, is because this wasn't to all, let's all be all fair and nice. This was to kick Manchester City out in the what you know what and get us out.
Yeah.
Look at Pep Guardiola made that about the 9 clubs that we'll never forget. We've seen that letter from Arsenal that has been signed off by Tottenham, United, Liverpool, and who was the other one? Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Tottenham all signed off on this letter in 2014-15 that the league wasn't fair anymore.
Uh-huh.
Well, there was only one team competing then, and that was us. They didn't like Manchester City gate crushing a party, and they basically got in everyone's ears, made everyone vote for the stupid rules, and now everyone's paying for them down the road. And where my sympathy dies a little bit is we told them this was coming. We said, do not vote for this.
Yeah, but we was the new guys on the block. We had the new owners, and they probably just thought that like we was just chatting shit.
This lot talking.
Yeah, you've got like the likes of United, Liverpool, Arsenal have been there competing at the top level. You know what I mean? They're like, no, this is what we need. This is what we need because City going to ruin everything. Obviously, now looking at it, it's clearly City were right all along, and these clubs like Everton who voted for FFP at the time, yeah, like it's their problem that they voted for it, but.
He's come back. I knew he would. LB on this. What? I knew Alan would come back.
Oh, has he sent a message?
He hasn't read about the government rules. I'll tell him later.
I don't want the Super League, but the Premier League are driving us there. Fact, says Alan. He doesn't want the Super League, apparently.
He does. They can't drive us there anymore, Alan, because the government have now stepped in.
Yeah,
and made it law.
But like I said to you, the Super League will come anyway. It'll just come in the form of
it'll just be the Champions League.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Do you know what? I've no problem. This is the thing. I've no problem with making money. I said this, showing my age now, as a 19-year-old. Football. I used to joke with my dad and my brother of the first 100 grand a week player, the first 50 grand a week player. You know, and it was always, you probably did it, LB. We're never going to see £1 million a week player. That's just never happening. And we're already there. I never thought I'd see City spending 100 million quid on a player.
Mm-hmm.
It's You know, you can't be a multi-millionaire to buy a football club anymore. You've got to be a multi-billionaire going on to trillionaire to have
If
any
you
kind
well,
of
if you
success.
want to buy an established Prem team,
Yeah, if you
yeah.
want, but the trouble is, they're the only clubs you can buy now, LB, with the rules,
Uh-huh.
because you can't buy. That's where I will agree on the things, Dad. No one can buy it. No one can go to Tony Bloom and buy Brighton off them now, turn them into the next setter.
Mm-hmm.
That dream's dead.
Well, this is why I'm fundamentally against FFP, because how is a team like Luton, for example, yeah, ever going to get the revenues to grow, yeah, to be able to compete?
They never
And
will.
people will just go, yeah, but now they're going to be protected. Well, if a shape man saw it into Luton, they would have been protected anyway, because the guy's a multi-billionaire. Yeah, but we must protect
No,
them.
what you need to do is what you said weeks ago, and I said, make him a pot, make him get a bond or something, sign a bond, so that club is protected. Because let's not forget there are other sides, such as Reading.
Mm.
Look at Reading, poor old
Well,
Reading.
that's always happened, hasn't it?
No, but where's FFP for them?
Well, yeah, that's just because the guy's just not putting money in. That's got nothing to do with FFP.
No, but that was why they're saying, well, this is why we've brought FFP in. But it
Well,
hasn't helped. It hasn't helped Reading.
no, because for me, yeah, FFP. At the end of the day, any rules that allow you to make a loss in a year, for me, don't stop clubs going bust. Because ultimately, if your club every year makes a loss, yeah, and one day the owner's like, I'm not putting any more money in, then you're gonna go bust, mate, regardless of what the rules are saying. So that's just BS. And I'm not being funny, yeah. People act like no clubs have gone bust while FFP's in it. Clubs have gone bust with FFP. Yeah.
Macclesfield, Borough.
Clubs have gone bust before FFP. I'm sorry, yeah. Clubs will continue to go bust. That's just the way the world. Businesses go bust. And I know it's sad, and I know it's not right, but ultimately that is just what happens. Now, you want to try and protect that. What you should do is what we've mentioned on a number of occasions. Have a pot, have an escrow account where a year or 2 years, or you pick the number, right? I'm not telling you what number it has to be. You can pick the number. But I say a year. A year's worth of operating expenses covers all the bills plus inflation every year into an account. And you can't do it overnight because some of these clubs have big operating expenses. You give them a decade. So if our operating expenses for Manchester City this year are 500 million, City in the next 10 years have to put 500 million pound plus, obviously, if it goes up, then we have to top it up. It has to go
Interest,
up by
inflation.
yeah. It has to go up. It has to cover it. So there's no doubts it will cover it. And you put that into an escrow account, and in 10 years' time, every club will have that money there. And if one day an owner goes, you know what, I ain't feeling this anymore, lads. I don't want to be putting my money into football anymore. I'm going to go and dig for oil. Yeah. All of a sudden, there's no panic. It's okay. You got a year to sell the football club, and we've got money in the account to fund all the players, fund all the staff, fund all our obligations for a full year. You have a year to sell the football club. That's proper protection. Now, you can't do it overnight. Like I say, some clubs have big operating expenses because they're big clubs, they've got big wages. You've got to give them time to do it. Yeah, it got to be maybe a decade. But that's proper protections. This bullshit about stopping spending, that's not protections. That's keeping
The
people.
trouble is LB. People don't want to. The people, owners and fans, aren't patient.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to wait the 10 years for a club to grow. You've seen it now in Newcastle, for example. They had 1 year of they had that taste of top four, that taste of it.
Uh-huh.
So now it's complete and utter. But really, because let's be honest, for Newcastle, they've kind of gone back to where they kind of probably squad wise, manager wise, where they probably really maybe one or two places higher they should be, but they're kind of back to where normality wise.
Mm.
But the trouble is, they've had that taste.
Uh-huh.
And now they want it now. It's no longer a 5-year plan. It wants to be a 5-minute plan now, and we get going. and nobody wants to give that time anymore. Look at City fans this year, LB. You know, we've talked about all the records we broke. We're 1-0 down at half time, and it's World War III over social media and all our channels. And everyone's saying, Pep, get out of our football club. And it's patience. Football fans don't want to wait the time. And
that's fair.
It's a real weird one. You know where we're at? Football has done exactly what we said it was going to do years ago. It's imploding on itself.
Yeah, but I feel, you know what I feel though, Martin? I feel it is imploding on itself, and by putting these rules in place to try and stop it imploding, it's actually making it worse because it's going to make it less competitive. If a billionaire, right, buys a club, right, and says, I'm a billionaire, right? So I just buy club in the Premier League. I buy Fulham, right? Club based in London. It's got potential for tourism. I can generate income, all that kind of shit. Yeah. So I'm a billionaire. I buy Fulham, right? With decent revenues. I'm like, I want Fulham to win the Premier League. I'm going to invest £1 billion into this team over the next 4 years, right? But you can't do that. Why can't I do that? Why? Because it's not sustainable. And what about if you leave? No, I'm not going to leave. Yeah, but what about if you leave? I'll put money in an account. I'll put money in an escrow account. No, you can't do that. Why can't I do that?
That's where it's wrong from normal business. Because if you went and bought a corner shop, you would be allowed to put whatever you want in to make that corner shop as big as you can. You may know it's never going to get to a Tesco level, but you can get it to a real nice level where you're producing money and you've got some success. You've got the chance to make it successful.
Yeah.
No owner right now can go in and buy anybody unless they are a recognized.
Well, I tell you what, it will be interesting to see over the next 5-10 years how many other clubs now get bought by billionaires.
Have I lost my mind?
I don't know. We are talking about corner shops and Tesco, but it will be interesting to see.
I'm pointing to a business.
No, I know. I'm just joking. But it will be interesting to see, like based off of that point, if these billionaires will look at the Premier League clubs now and say, is it worth it? Are we able to actually get these clubs up and to compete? And the only way we'll find out, by the way, that is if when we come back to this conversation again in 10 years' time and see how many other clubs in the Premier League have been bought by billionaires. And if the answer is none, that tells you we're probably doing something wrong. Because that tells me that billionaires are looking at it going, it ain't working, mate. Are you still there? Chat, is Martin there or not? Have I gone down? Or has Martin gone down? I think we lost Martin. He's got to set up that corner shop. Right, let's have a look what you guys are saying. I will probably wrap it up now anyway. We've been live nearly 2 hours, bloody hell. Paul says clubs need to be able to invest. Forest spent money hoping they'd stay up and make more money in the future. LB is right. Citizen says, well, just saying money also doesn't guarantee success. That's factual information. Well, Sam's in the building, absolutely crying.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
There you go. That's what I think of Sam right now. Lindy says the Prem is making a rod for its own back. Typical City of Mancunian Way says Martin's deep in thought. Marshy Boy with the laughs. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Stop All Night Hate says great stream. Good job, lads. Been a great stream. Good. But right, chat. I think that's pretty much it. He said he's coming back on. Maybe I'll just let Martin come back on because he might want to wrap up something. By the way, guys, make sure you follow up the TikTok, man. Make sure you follow up the TikTok. Guys, I need 13 people to follow the TikTok. Link in the pinned comment to get to 100 followers. Please get me to 100 followers by the end of the night. I know for a fact you're all on TikTok, innit? So please follow me on TikTok. That's the link. Or you can use the link in the pinned comment and get us to 100 followers. Big up to Sam. He says, I followed. Stop Online Hate said, already followed the TikTok. Come on, man. Come on. We'll be there. We'll be there on the TikTok. Right, just waiting for Martin to come back. We'll follow the TikTok if you do dancing videos. Yeah, mate, probably won't do that. TikTok is cringe, bro. I've never really used it, bro, to be honest. I don't actually use TikTok either to like look at stuff. I usually like if I want to watch like short form content, I usually just do it on Instagram or YouTube Shorts. But I don't know, man. People telling me that I should get on it, so I'm gonna give it a go. Give it a go. I'll attack it for the next month or so. I'll attack it for the next month, and if I'll see what if I like it, I'll carry on. If I don't, I won't. TikTok dance all we riot. What the hell? Just followed. Good to see it. Osmodius has followed a while back. TikTok gone. TikTok videos I've used for great. Twitch LB. Soon come, man. Soon come. I'm going to have a recipe video out soon as well, guys. I promise you. I ate it again today. Honestly, man. It's the best. The best. But I don't know if he's coming back. What do you think, chat? Is he coming back? Give me your best. Brother. There you go. Brother. There you go, bro. What's happening, chat? Where is he gone? Where is he gone? Any news? Any other news? No. Kobe Mine, who's been selected for England, chilling. What the hell? I don't think he's coming back. I might have to dip this. Should I send him a message? Should I end? Are you coming back, mate? What's that, brother? What's that? Make a Discord server. Honestly, I can't, bro. I can't make a Discord server. I just don't want to get back into another Discord server, man. I just can't, because you got to be on top of it. You got to be really on top of it, because people turn out to be proper weirdos and start being like nasty to other people, and like I've got to like mod it, and even if I get mods, then I've got to like, there's too much pressure on them. I just don't want to do it. I didn't enjoy it when I was at cIty Extra. We had the Discord. I really didn't enjoy it. It was meant to be mint where we could all chat to each other. It just become a massive like chore, and I was just like, I just don't want this. So
Sorry about that.
listen. Yeah, no, listen, there's other Discord servers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure cIty Extra probably still got theirs. Yeah, and there's probably other cIty Discord servers, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, sorry, Martin. Yeah, what was you saying? Do you remember? I don't even know if you remember what you're saying. Nah, well, it was gonna come to the end anyway, man. I didn't even realize, bro. It's only 2 hours in. But
we do this often, don't we? We end up just me and you with these late night.
I know.
We're 3 hours in.
Yeah, I know. By the way, just quickly, actually, I want to ask you a question about this. I don't know if you guys have seen this today. The news on the IFAB's proposed offside changes. The IFB have approved further trials of a new offside rule. This will be the 3rd year of the offside trial. So basically, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that properly, but effectively, it's only going to be offside going forward. This could start potentially for next year. It's going to be confirmed. It's only going to be offside if there's a clear gap between the two players. So this top one now, this is off. What do you say?
Haven't we done this before with the clear daylight rule and advantage to the attacker?
Nah. Advantage to the attacker was different. Advantage to the attacker was like, if you wasn't fully sure, give the advantage to the attacker type thing. Like if it was so close that you're not too sure. But like so this now is
different than the Champions League one. This is not the AI one, then, is it?
No, this is nothing to do with AI. This is a fundamental offside rule change.
Just have the AI stuff. But what's holding them back on the AI stuff?
Well, no. Well, we're getting the AI stuff. The AI stuff is coming still, but alongside the AI, they might fundamentally change what offside is. From being this is offside. This top one now today, this is offside.
Yeah, right? That's offside. But now they're saying that should be offside down below.
That they're saying that, no, this yeah. So they're saying this top one now should be onside because there's not clear gap. Whereas this now, as you can see here on the lines, this should be offside because there's a line. So I actually think, will this not benefit? I don't know what you think. Would you not think this will benefit counter-attacking teams more? Because they play on the shoulder. Where it seems like cIty, and the better teams who usually have more possession, who don't play as on the shoulder as much, will probably not get this advantage as much as other teams who play counter.
Could you imagine that United come to the Etihad and they do what they normally do?
Yeah,
and you've got Rashford on Rashford against Diaz.
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, to me, that's offside above.
That's offside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's offside. I'm sorry. Because
here's what you need to do, right?
Your body's in the advantageous state to be going already.
Facts.
You're already gone.
I agree. Here's the thing, Martin. Yeah, if this rule gets implemented, and I imagine it probably will, because they're in the 3rd year of trialing it.
Okay, so bring me that blue card.
Bro, I swear down, yeah. If this was something that they weren't going to bring in, then they probably would have scrapped it after the 1st year or the 2nd year. We're now into the 3rd year. So here's the thing: if this gets brought in, here's something for you. Yeah, find out which striker in Europe had the most offsides last year, and invest all your stonks in that guy
and buy him.
Buy him. Whoever is the most offside striker in world football, Darwin Núñez, buy him. Because he's probably now going to be like onside a lot more than he previously would have been, and therefore it's going to get more goals.
And then VAR's involved. And then it's like, have you heard that today about the Doku thing? That's still going on, by the way, in debates. The referees will come out. Is it? What's it called?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that
basically
today.
Went, VAR was right not to get involved.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But so this is what I mean. I don't that to me is offside. Sorry. Yeah. You've got Nkunku, Rashford, Haaland even. Who else could you have?
Haaland.
Doku, stick Doku on the end there like that. You know what I mean? See him, mate, stand on the edge and go.
Sterling.
No, LB.
No.
Did you watch him the other night? No.
Oh, mate. Honestly, I you know what it is with Sterling. Like, I feel like
Chelsea fans have even turned.
I know they booed him, man. They booed him.
Mbappe, Osimhen, Jackson. Could you imagine it? I'm just going to stand there, lads, over the top, and I'll go.
I know.
You'd have to bring out your keeper 20 yards extra to stop anything going on.
It's wild, you know. And you know, when they make, I always say this, yeah, and I'm sure you all have probably been, unless you're too young, you all probably been in this conversation, in this situation. Sorry. Whenever you worked in like a corporate company, yeah, there's always someone doing a job, right? Typically pretty well paid job, who does, excuse the French, fuck all. But every now and again, they'll just come out with some sort of rule change about something. And the reason that they do this is to justify the salary, right? And show people that they actually do something. Because if they just did what they were meant to do, which is probably nothing, people would go, what does he do? And then they go, oh, well, we'll do a review of what he does. And then they'll go, he doesn't actually do anything. Make him redundant. They save the cash. I feel like these people, yeah, who are making decisions like this are people that probably don't do anything and have to justify their huge side. I mean, I'm not being funny, yeah. If you work at something called the IFAB, it sounds like you're going to be earning a decent wage. That sounds like a decent paying company. So if you're working there, right, you're probably getting paid dough, right? Arsene Wenger, right? Well, what's he do? Yeah, he's on dough. We all know he's getting paid absolute cash. But why is he doing that? Why? Why are we changing the rule? Yeah, has this not been the offside rule since over like 100 years or something?
Do you know? Can I ask you a question?
Why do we need to change the rule?
Tell you why. Because referees are now so bad. They haven't got enough referees ready to come up to be top elite referees for the Premier League. So instead of sacking them, demoting them permanently, what they're doing is, because you got to admit, probably this season probably been the worst season for referees making howlers.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad, hasn't it?
Howlers. It's taken accountability away from the PGMOL being absolute crap at their job.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're going to do is, because no one wants to blame themselves, it's like the blue card stuff. I don't, you know what I mean? What was that about? We're going to
Justifying
start.
someone's salary, bro.
I don't know what they were. No, their excuse: keep the game flowing. We don't want to see, 10 versus 9, and it's like it's one of them. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's two ways about this. If a guy, because on that tweet you just put, he's about what 2-3 yards ahead.
Yeah, it's about.
Imagine if that was Johnny
yeah.
Evans and Haaland.
Yeah.
You can imagine the uproar at the end of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. It's also, you know what, you've actually got to think about this properly from a footballing point of view. Yeah, as a defender, you might have to think about fundamentally changing the way you defend.
Won't work for Tottenham.
No, well, I know, yeah.
Tottenham's out the game with their eye line.
No, but listen to this. Tell me what you think about this. If you're a defender, right, and you wanna push up and mark your striker, say you're in possession or like you want to play a high line, right, and you want to play touch tight to your striker, you might think to yourself, well, I'm going to go touch tight, and if the ball's coming past me, I could potentially play an offside trap, yeah. And now you're probably thinking, well, we're going to have to make sure that we do that correctly, because now you've got even more margin of error, because they're allowed to be technically onside today, but they won't be onside tomorrow based off the current rules. So it's like, is this going to actually potentially change the way teams defend a little bit more as well? Because the more you push up, the more you're going to be exposed to this. If you're on the edge of the box, you're defending on the edge of the penalty area, there's less space in behind, right? So you're all right. If you're pushing up, the more you push up, for me, the more that this exposes your space in behind.
Does it? Is it just a Premier League rule? Because here's one. Say it's just a Premier League rule, and it doesn't come into Europe. You've just made a great point now. You're going to have to teach your team to defend 2 different ways in 2 different competitions.
Yeah, that can't happen.
How's that fair?
Nah.
Because what you're going to say one week, your bread and butter, don't play a high line. Champions League, we can kind of do it. But by the way, they've also got the AI that they kind of woman and hour and bring it into the Premier League. I know they've had votes on it again. But it all comes down to a simple fact and comes back to the Premier League, which that's quite a good point. It's full circle before we end. But think of it this way. Premier League is a private members club, and it's trying to private independent itself. And it can't do it.
I agree.
The independent regulator for me shouldn't just be for disciplinary things or breaking rules. Should be for bringing in new rules as well.
Facts.
Because
I agree.
It is not fair to have one rule here, one rule there, which is why none of our referees went to one of the Euros and the World Cups, because we weren't using BAR in the same way they were using BAR around the rest of the world.
Yeah, because we're dumb in it.
Well, we are trying, because the Premier League want to be this private members club, that we are okay in our own jack. No, you're not. You're crap. You can't organise a piss up in a brewery. You need sorting out from start to finish. And that goes. But what they're trying to do is reinvent the wheel by trying to change the game to make it more flashy and good. Oh, let's do these offsides so we have 1,000 more goals. No. Because if I lose the title over one of them decisions, I'm not sat there going, oh, that was exciting. Thanks for that, mate.
Yeah, because it's weird, right? Because I can understand, why people are saying, oh, it's to get more goals because that's more entertaining. And obviously, the more entertaining the sport is, the more eyes will be on it. The more eyes are on it, the more money they can get for stuff like that.
Let's have fly goalie.
But
let's go back to being a child and a fly goalie.
But like,
if you're going to be on a winner.
But if you think about the away goal rule, made away teams go away from home to try and score goals because away goal rules were so powerful. Hence, you wanted to go and score goals. They got rid of that. Well, that means that teams go away now and don't try and score. That's what City did last year. It worked out quite well. So, like, on one hand,
thanks for that.
Yeah, on one hand, it's like, yeah, we want to make it more entertaining, so we want more goals. But then on the other hand, you get rid of away goals. Away goals pushed teams to go and score goals away from home, whereas now teams are going away from home, going, we'll try and not, we'll just try and get a 0-0 and then beat them at Argath. But you can't have that approach if there's away goals. So it's weird. It feels like they're a bit conflicted in how they're approaching it.
No, but that's the thing with the Premier League. Like, let's put that. It's an international league. Yeah, AFIB is, but the Premier League, because it's private members, can try and work on their own. That's why they have this voting. What's it called? The majority votes. You don't have that anywhere else.
Yeah, that's fucking
It's a real. I don't know. They need an independent regulator from the government and sort it out. Because the Premier League, one thing I will agree with is it's trying to be too clever and too fancy and trying to change the wheel. And it's wrong. And I get it. They want more goals and they want more excitement, but you're just going to lead to more meltdowns and more arguments, more money losses. It's stupid. I don't agree with it.
You know, the other thing that I would say, yeah. By the way, big up for everyone that's still tuned in, man. It's like gone past 11 o'clock.
How many's on?
400 in the building, which is crazy. Especially because we just yeah, me and Martin are literally just ranting about random stuff, and you're just
we could be on the phone right now.
And this could be a phone call. So big up to everyone that's still watching, man. Hopefully you're all doing well. I'm not sure why he's watching, but
smash the like.
Yeah, smash the like button.
And go and subscribe to the Mancunian Way as well.
Go and subscribe to Mancunian Way. Listen, the link's in the title. Just click the title and then you can subscribe. Make sure you're following my TikTok. Yeah, we're 7 followers away from 100 followers on TikTok. And of course, Martin's on there. He's on Instagram as well. So go follow him on there. Caleb says they want more goals. VAR is disallowing a lot now. Well, yeah. Again,
VAR's crap because it wasn't going to re-ref the game. Which is this is what Howard Webb's come out with today over the docu stuff. Well, we're not interfering because we're not going to re-ref because it wasn't clear and obvious.
But they do re-ref. They re-ref that goal that Liverpool scored at Crystal Palace when Crystal Palace scored and then they went back and said, "Oh, my whole point 10 minutes ago." So they are re-refereeing.
Where the wind blows, what suits on what day, and this is why they can get accused of corruption and everything else because it's what suits at what time. It's not consistent.
No, it's not
1 minute
consistent.
the VAR, it's like sometimes you get the VAR audio released. Other times you don't. Why?
Okay, but again, that's just something that for me, I've spoke about this before. I would say the best thing that they could do is just release every single VAR interaction online for free. Anyone can listen to. So after a game, you can go on the Premier League website, you click on a match, it says VAR audio, and you can listen to every single VAR audio, and that would increase transparency between the fans and the trust between the fans and the Premier League because we can listen to it all. So why don't they do that? Why are they hiding some from us? Why can't we listen to them all? What have you got to hide? Or Martin, are we not worthy? Are we not? We all pay our subscriptions for the TV or your season tickets or whatever. Are we not worthy of your consideration
now
for VAR audio? Or are you gonna fucking make us pay to listen to the audio? Yeah, that's what you're gonna do, innit? You're gonna make us fucking pay, mate.
Will it be cheaper or more than City Plus?
I know. You know what?
Cancel that. I get that.
Do you know what the funniest thing City have actually done low key, right? They've actually roasted everyone, but like I'm not moaning about it. I just find it actually quite funny. Is everyone pays this £4.99 a month for City Plus, yeah? And City have done this City documentary in collaboration with other people. No, for the treble documentary.
Oh, for the treble one, yeah.
And then they sold it to Netflix, and now you've got to buy Netflix to watch it. And it's like, hang on a minute, this was you made this.
No, you got the Julian Alvarez. You got the Julian Alvarez documentary.
Yeah, but with all due respect, mate, the treble documentary is the one that I want to watch.
Isn't Julian Alvarez?
it kind of made me laugh actually when I seen that. I thought, you know what, that's actually
Hey,
pretty funny.
even funnier, I went on that. Told you I went on that stadium tour. I was in the dressing room, and they're like, you know, when they play this video in the background, and you're like, oh, it's going to be amazing, something special. They played the Netflix promo. Well, I've seen this 5,000 times. What are you playing me this for? You come up, subscribe to Netflix. No.
Yeah,
I mean, I am. Squid Games 2 is coming out this year, so I'm already subscribed to Netflix.
No, I'm not even subscribed to Netflix, you know, man. I cancelled it because I only really watched it for like.
Have you got one of them dodgy sticks?
No, I don't actually. You know, I listened to it on the radio, but I cancelled it. I like watching like the murder documentaries and shit like that. And like and I feel like I watched them all, so I ended up cancelling it. But
yeah, I did that watching like the Moors murder and all. Anyway, this is really going on a left turn now.
Yeah, but I will obviously get it back through legitimate means when that documentary's uploaded, and you know I'm excited for it, man. Because is it this month or is it next month?
Next month, early next month, I think it is.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for it, man. I'm actually.
It's going to be good and it's going to be great.
It took a while.
Everything's money now, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently. Did you see that? Apparently, they got 10 million for it.
Is that how much they got?
That's the rumor going around online that they got 10 million.
Well, I thought it said 7 figures. That's 8.
Oh, maybe it's not 10 million. It's a lot of money though.
April 2nd. There you go. It's in...
Chat, how much money? Does anyone know in the chat how much money City got paid for it? I thought it was 10 mil, but maybe that's not right. Anyone in the chat know? They got a lot of money anyway.
I believe.
What you say?
Sorry, my internet. You know what it is? I have Virgin, and when it gets to 11 midnight, it starts having a little moment.
Oh, does it? I
don't know why. Do you know what I think it is? If anyone else tell me, Virgin Media, does anyone notice they start resetting their boxes like late at night? Any transfer news? I got one bit of information earlier today.
Oh, are you allowed to tell us?
Apparently, Paqueta's virtually done. Or they believe it's virtually done.
Oh, yeah, I think we're signing Paqueta, man. I just think we're waiting for this thing to be done, innit? This gambling thing.
I genuinely believe we'll get Paqueta and Kimmich.
I think we're getting Kimmich.
My dream's coming true. My dream is coming true.
I think we're getting Kimmich. I think we're getting Paqueta. The question is, do we need one more? I think we do.
Keep an eye on, well, Miguel Gutierrez. Is that his name? Gutierrez?
Yeah.
And Yankuto's going to come back.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you've seen the comments from Yankuto. Have you seen the comments?
Nope.
He's been talking. One second, let me get it up. He's been talking about his future because he's only got a year left on his deal at City, apparently. There we go. Look at this. Yankuto, I don't always have contact with Pep Guardiola, but whenever I'm at Man City, we talk. He's a very nice person. He's open to listening to us. So I think that's why he's been so successful and he's a really good team player. I dream of playing with him because he's an extraordinary coach. I hope one day I can play with him. And then he goes, I'm talking a lot with my agents. We have to start planning objectives. I have a City contract. Oh, okay, he's got 2 more years left on his deal. It's a conversation we have a lot, what they expect in the future. We'll talk. Nothing's been decided yet. We'll see if I go pre-season. I don't think I can say about the future. It's still early towards the end of the season. I'm focused on football. I leave it to my agents. I'm trying to do my bit. And I think it's been a very good season for me and Girona. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I just don't see him. I just don't see him in the Premier League.
What the news I got, he'll go on pre-season with Sabio. And then, because it looks like Phillips and Cancelo are going to go on pre-season as well.
Who?
Cancelo and Phillips.
Phillips?
Oh, yeah, well, West Ham ain't buying him, mate. He's coming back.
Oh, that's true, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, do you think West Ham were dropping 40-odd million on him?
Yeah, that's not happening.
No, come on.
You know what, as well, though? I predicted this was going to happen, you know. I literally
Watch out
predicted
for
that.
Leeds United. I've got a feeling I'll end up back at Leeds.
Yeah, he will end up back at Leeds. I literally said, because people was like, he needs to leave. And I was like, one of the problems if he leaves and he does shit, then he's not going to get picked for England. Because here's a question. If
He
he was still
hasn't.
at no, that's what I'm saying. If he was still at City now, would he have been picked for England? You would probably say yeah, because he's picked him before. Why would he have randomly changed his mind?
Yeah.
He picked him before when he wasn't playing. Because now he's gone to West Ham and he's rubbish. He's then not picked him.
Which tells you Gareth Southgate has an elitist attitude in him.
Oh yeah, Southgate's that
Which
guy.
is absolutely wrong. It's like someone said to me, "Are you watching the games this week?" I went, "Nope."
Yeah.
Oh no, I might watch Brazil because is Paqueta playing? Has he been
I
picked?
hope so. I hope so, bro.
Plus, to see what he does. I might watch to see what he does with Foden, whether he messes him up and sticks him at left back.
Yeah, he does my head in that.
No, not 24 hour. No, I'm doing that, my juice, on Saturday. It's 12 hours, not 24. Not raising it for FFP, though. Jesus.
It's not raising it for FFP.
Savio.
Yeah,
I think we'll see. We'll see. Nettle's injured again, though, isn't
yeah, Nettle's gone,
he?
mate.
That guy just lives on crutches.
Yeah, he's had two bad injuries in his career. He's only 24. He's had two injuries that have been pretty major as well. But
Right. I'm going to shoot anyway because
yeah,
quarter past. This is now like a phone call.
yeah. This is a long one. Right, cool. When are you next on stream, mate?
Thursday
Night.
No, tomorrow I'm on Never a Foul half 12. Then Judge Mo at half 2 with Dan Potts. Tomorrow I'm recording a podcast that I'm not saying at the moment because I'm not allowed to say it. I will announce it after. It's a bit of a dodgy subject, so I can't go. I've got to wait on it. But I will announce it when it comes out. Have a look at the media. Thursday night, I'm going to do a show for an hour, but it's going to be all build up what's happening on Saturday, what shows are happening, because I've got to record a few things. And then Saturday, 12 p.m., 12 a.m., all for Alzheimer's Society. We're gonna do. Oh, we're also gonna do a fans forum where for an hour and a half. Some point, I'm going to open the line to all the subscribers to come in and have their say.
Cool. Well, definitely get over there, guys. Charity stream, innit? You know what I mean? Show the support. Links in the title. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Oh, sorry, got one last super chat. Says, I've had a chance to look into Alex Benanchen. You know what, Ruston? No, I'm gonna do it right now. As soon as I finish this stream, I'm gonna go on YouTube and look at his Alex. I think he spelled it wrong, you know, because I feel like this is different. This is a different player. Ruston, is this a different player? I swear this was a different player. It was like Alex Benange. Anyway, apparently he's David Silva regen.
People are trying to get me to play you on FIFA.
I don't have FIFA.
Don't have it. He's not good. Leave him alone, poor lad.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it soon. At some point, I will get it. But yeah, you know what, Ruston? I will do it after this stream. I'm going to go on YouTube and do a 4K compilation with you. I think he plays for like Villarreal or something like that. He said.
Alex Banjo is his name.
No, this guy on screen, Baena. Baena. He plays for like some Spanish team. Apparently, he's meant to be David Silva regen.
Alex Baena. Ah, right, I've got it. Yeah, Villarreal.
Is that Villarreal?
Baena. He's 22 years old. Attacking midfielder. He has got 26 appearances, 2 goals, 9 assists. Out of a total of 26. Why do you always get bloody ads on this? This off. He's played a total of 1,000, just under 2,000 minutes, 26 appearances, 2 goals, 9 assists, and they're all starts.
What's it? Is it Ruston? Yeah, Ruston, the guy on a super chat, watches a lot of other football. I think he said I can't remember the exact reason he said it, but like he does it because he likes tactics or something. And he said, "Look at this guy, Alex Baena. Apparently, he's meant to be mint." And the chat are
I'm
backing him
just
up.
going to see what is he left foot or right foot? That's what I'm just looking at now.
I'm not sure.
He's right. No, he's right footed. Yeah, no, I get it. No, but the trouble is, Savio has better stats than him.
Yeah, but Savio's a winger. This guy's an attacking mid, apparently.
Yeah, but he's right, so you could play him on the right, I suppose. Is that what he's meaning, to play him on the right?
No, I think he's just saying. I don't think he's saying to get him for a winger. I think Ruston's just saying the guy's mint and you should check him out. Potential, like when Kevin De Bruyne leaves, if we don't get Verts on Musiala, maybe get him.
Well, I got told reportedly Bayern are putting all their stock into Musiala's contract.
Well, they bloody need to.
They're going to offer him mega bucks, which is part of the reason why I think they're willing to let Kimmich out the door to give the money to
good
Musiala.
That's a very good shout.
Because they're not going to allow both. They won't allow both out the door. It'll be one or the other.
You can't do that, man. 100%. Right, we'll wrap up, man, because we could go on for hours. Honestly.
Is this an all-nighter? Could turn into one. This is not the 12-hour stream, ladies and gents.
Yeah, honestly, it could go on for ages. Hey, yo, big up to everyone,
will
man.
be on it as well. LB
I'm gonna jump on it, man, and I'll let you know what time I'm on it, guys. But just even if you can only go in for like half an hour, 10 minutes, just to show support, man, get yourself in there for the charity stream on Saturday. On the Mancunian way, links in the title. Go subscribe, go smash the likes. Follow the TikTok. As I said, we didn't quite reach 100 followers. Disappointing. We're 6 away.
I'll give you a follow. I'm how many away from 100?
Then we'd be 5 away from 100 if you give us a follow, Martin.
It's LB.
Yeah, it's LB live. It's _LB_live. Try to get to 100 followers. But big up to everyone for joining, man. You guys seem to enjoy it, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll either be an early stream or a couple of videos because I'm a bit busy tomorrow. And then yes, man, you followed me. Oh, we're 4 off. And then obviously, like I say, I'll be doing some watch-alongs as the week goes on. And that's pretty much it. Big up to everyone that super chatted. Ruston, I'm going to watch this guy now on 4K compilation. So hopefully it looks sick. And guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.